Welcome to online classes DO Nalgonda. Today we are going to continue the same exercise 6.3 in progressions topic. So our next problem is 11th question in the third exercise. Let me read it for you. Please listen and try to understand this. In a school, students thought of planting trees in and around the school. Students thought of planting trees in and around the school to reduce air pollution. To reduce air pollution, students thought of planting trees in and around the school also. It was decided that the number of trees that each class will plant. So, the number of trees, how many number of trees each class should plant was decided, that will be the same as the class. Okay, Yuli is going to explain how that is going to take place, in which they are studying. So, how many number of trees should each class plant will be same as the class in which they are studying. Example, a section of class 1, first class will plant 1 tree, and a section of class 2 will plant 2 trees, and so on till class 12. So, in that school 12 classes are there, and each class according to their standard they have to plant the number of trees. Means first class should plant 1 tree, second class should plant 2 trees, and so on. So, there are 3 sections of each class. So, in that school, for each class there are 3 sections. You have to make a note of it. How many trees will be planted by the students? How many trees will be planted by the students? By looking at this sum or problem, this is very lengthy problem. It looks very lengthy, but there is nothing in that. Means if you try to understand, that is very simple, and you can list out the things or list a sequence according to the given information. Okay, so let me try to write down the sequence or the progression, how it goes. Okay, so first class should plant 1 tree. How many sections are there? 3 sections. Means total first class will plant how many trees? 3 trees. Second class will plant 2 into 3, because second class should plant 2 trees, and there are 6 sections, therefore 3 sections, therefore 2 into 3 is equals to 6. So, like that you have to find the number of plants to be planted by each class with all the sections considered. Okay, right. Let me write the steps. First class students plant 3 into 1 is equals to 3 plants. Second class students plant 3 into 2 is equals to 6 plants. Similarly, all other classes will plant trees. Okay, if you understand this, we can write the arithmetic progression. Now, I erase this. Arithmetic progression of number of plants planted is 3, 6, 9 and so on. How many? Last section is 12th section, and 12th section or means 12th standard students should plant 12 trees, and there are 3 sections. So 12 trees are 36 plants. Now this is the progression in which the students decided to plant the trees. Okay. Now what is he asking? How many trees will be planted by the students? So total, this is the this explains or this tells us the number of plants planted by each class, and now he is asking us to find out how many are the trees totally planted by the students. So if you add all these numbers, you will get that. But you know how to add, means you should not add manually or orally all these things. You have to use formulas, you have to use your knowledge about this arithmetic progression. Means we found or we learnt how to add sum to n terms. So again, adding means you should definitely recall the sum to n terms formula. Sn is equals to n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d. Now you write down all the things given from the progression. What is a? A is equals to, okay, let me write here itself. A is equals to 3, D is equals to A2 minus A1, this is equals to 6 minus 3 is equals to 3. Next, okay, n is equals to 12. How can you tell that n is equals to 12? Because there are 12 classes, we can conclude that the number of terms in this progression is 12. Okay, now substituting all these things, we will get the sum to 12 terms. Now S12 is equals to 12 by 2 into 2 into A. 2 into A is 3 plus 12 minus 1 into how much is D? D is also 3, which is equals to, by simplifying this, 6 into 6 plus 11 into 3, which is equals to 6 into 6 plus 33, which is equals to 6 into 39. How much is this? 39, 6 9 54, 6 3 18, 18 plus 3 is 23, which is equals to 234. So total number of plants planted by the whole school is 234. I hope you understood this. If you didn't understand also, just go through this video once again and try to understand the things. Okay, right. Okay students, coming to next problem, 13th one. 200 logs are stacked in the following manner. Stacked means arranged one after the other. 20 logs in the bottom row, 19 in the next row, 18 in the row next to it, and so on. So in how many rows are the 200 logs placed, and how many logs are in the top row? You have to understand this very carefully. So number of logs, logs means wooden, suppose if you cut a tree for making wooden things, okay, that tree without made any shape or like that, the cutted tree, the tree cut which was cut, that was called as log. If that wooden log, there are how many wooden logs? Such wooden logs, 200 wooden logs. 200 wooden logs are there. Okay, so these were arranged or stacked like this. First 20 wooden logs were placed. After that, in the next row 19 were placed. After that, in the next row 18 were placed. Like that 200 logs were placed. So what is he asking? In how many rows are 200 logs placed? So at a point of time you are left with no logs. So how many rows were arranged like that? Means 200 logs were arranged in how many rows, and how many logs are there in the top row. So if you want to have a look at the picture from the textbook, see this. These are wooden logs, 200 wooden logs. They are arranged in such a manner. So in the bottom row 20 logs were arranged, in the next row 19, on the top of that 18, and so on. The number of logs are placed like that. Okay. Now we have to find the number of rows arranged like that and the number of logs placed in the top row. So what do you understand? How do you do this? Simple. You have to apply the arithmetic progression knowledge of using arithmetic progression knowledge. You can do this problem. Now, so how to go? How many rows are there? Means how many rows are there means. So first in first row, let me write the number of logs in first row. AP. You are going to write the AP. What is that AP? In first row 20 logs, second row 19 logs, third row 18 logs, and so on. And so on. You have to find the number of terms in this. The number of terms in this means these are the rows. You have to find how many rows are there. One thing. And the number in the last row, that is also you have to find. Means number of terms you have to find means what? You have to find n is equals to how much? One thing. What is the data given here? A is equals to 20. D is equals to A2 minus A1, which is equals to 19 minus 20, which is equals to minus 1. The next every row, in every row, one log is reduced. Therefore, that's why the series is going on decreasing, because the D is minus 1 negative. Next, what is the information given here? The sum of all the rows, means sum of all the logs is given. That is what Sn is given. Sn is equals to how much? 200. So I told you, you will be given some of the things out of what? An, A, D, A, next what? N and Sn. Out of these 5 variables, you will be given some variables, and then you will be asked to find out the remaining. Okay, here what were given? A is given, D is given, Sn is given, and you have to find what? An or N, nth term, and also that N. You have to find both those things. Okay, now let us solve. Using which formula we can do this? To find n, we have to go to what? Which formula? Nth term formula. Sn, we can use Sn also. Okay, by using Sn we can find n also. Okay, let me use Sn formula here. Let me erase this. Sn is equals to n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d. If an means nth term is given, we would have calculated n using an or nth term formula, but an is not given, nth term is unknown. Therefore, we can find nth value or n value using Sn also. What is Sn? Sn is given, that is 200 is equals to n, we do not know, substitute like that. 2 into A is the first row logs, number of logs in first row, that is 20 plus n. You have to find D is minus 1. If you substitute these things and find out the thing, we can find n. Now, if you transpose this, this becomes what? 400 is equals to n into 2 into 20 is 40 plus, if you multiply this, minus n plus 1. Okay. Now, 400 is equals to n into 40 plus 1 is 41 minus n. If you multiply both these, 400 is equals to 41 n minus n into n is n square. Okay. If you bring all those terms to left hand side, what happens? N square minus 41n plus 400 is equals to 0. Here comes a quadratic equation. So, you should have knowledge knowledge of solving quadratic equation, because here one variable is involved and you have to find that variable n. N is number of terms, and that is in a quadratic equation mode. Then if you solve that, you will get 2 n's, because the order is 2. You will get 2 solutions for this quadratic equation. Therefore, you have to choose from that which is the best solution, or if 2 solutions are possible, you can write those 2 solutions. Now, how to solve this quadratic equation? There are many ways to solve. Let me go with the best method, that is factorization method. So, if you know how to factorize a quadratic polynomial, you can solve these things. So, how to solve? For that, you have to multiply the coefficient of n square here and the constant term here. What are that? 1 into 400 is equals to 400. Now, this 400 is to be factorized, so that with that help of 2 factors, you can split this middle term into 2 terms. Okay. So, how do you factorize this? So, 400 should be factorized in a way that if you add those factors, you should get minus 41, and if you multiply, you should get plus 400. So, how to do that? For finding that, you can factorize, prime factorize this 400. 2 into 200, 2 into 100, 2 into 50, 2 into 25, 5 into 5. Now see, if you factorize this 400, the prime factors are like this: 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 into 5 into 5. If you multiply all these, you will get 400. So, if you take these 4 factors and make a product of it, how much do you get? 2 2s are 4, 4 2s are 8, 8 2s are 16. If you take 16 as one thing, and 5 5s are how much? 25. 16 25s are how much? 400. Now, if you multiply both these, you will get 400. But one thing you have to remember is, if you add these two, you should get the coefficient of the middle term, that is minus 41. Do you get, if you add them? Those are positive, both of them. Therefore, you don't get negative value. If you put a minus sign for both of them, if you add them, what happens? You will get minus 41, and if you multiply them, you will get 400. Therefore, I will go with those 2 factors: n square minus 16n minus 25n plus 400 is equals to 0. Now, if you take common from these 2 terms, you group these 4 terms into two terms, 2 groups. First group we can take n as common. If you take n out as common, here 1l will remain. So n minus n is taken outside, therefore you write 16 here. Now there is a minus sign, you put a minus sign. 25 400, you know 25 into 16 is equal to 400, therefore you can take 25 common. If you take 25 common, n will be there. Now here we took out minus as common term, therefore if you write a plus here, what happens? Minus into plus, minus 400 you get, but here there is a plus 400, therefore be careful whenever you are taking minus as common sign. Okay, minus into minus you will get a plus sign. So 25 into 16 you get 400. Now in these two groups, n minus 16 is again common. Take out that common n minus 16. If you take out n minus 16 as common, there n remains here, n minus here 25 remains, n minus 25 is equal to 0. So finally we could factorize this quadratic polynomial as a product of 2 factors. Okay. Now if you multiply 2 things, you are getting a 0. What does that mean? Either this number or this expression should be 0, or this expression should be 0, or both of them may be 0. So let me write like this: n minus 16 is equal to 0, or n minus 25 is equal to 0. From this you get what? N is equal to, if you transpose, n is equal to 16 or n is equal to 25. I told you in a quadratic equation, how many solutions do you have? You have 2 solutions. Therefore, from those 2 solutions, which solution is relevant to this form, this problem, we have to take that. Now, if you go through the solutions, n is equals to 16 and n is equals to 25. What is n? Number of logs, number of rows. Number of rows. So in first row 20 logs, in second row 19 logs. So if you take n is equals to 25, if you take n is equals to 25, so you started with how many logs? 20 logs in the first row. Can there be 25 rows? Imagine, think of that. You started the first row with 20 logs. Can there be 25 rows like that to keep 200 logs? It's not possible. Therefore, the first that is n is equals to 25 is not possible. Here n is equals to 25 is not possible because the number of rows in the bottom, number of logs in the bottom row is 20. Okay, the other one is 16. So that may be the answer. Here, therefore, number of rows is equals to 16. Number of rows is equals to 16. What does that mean? So if n is 16, number of rows are 16. Now what is the other one? He is asking us how many logs are there in the top row, means how many logs are there in the 16th row. What you can do is you have to find the number of rows in the 16th row. How to find? You have to find an, means last row, last number or the nth term or the last number of that what sequence or progression. So an you have to find. An is equals to, an means what? 16 here. A16 is equals to a plus 15d, which is equals to a is 20 plus 15 into d is minus 1 is equals to 20 minus 15, which is equals to 15. Therefore 20 minus 15 is how much? 5. Therefore we can say that on the top row or the last row we have 5 logs in it. Okay, did you understand this? Okay, well, let me move on to the other questions. Okay, in the previous classes we discussed about arithmetic progression. I didn't went through the example problems. There were 3 exercises based on arithmetic progressions. I think you can go through the examples and don't leave the examples also, which are very important. So you have to do what? You have to constantly practice the different types of models, different types of problems, go through how many types of problems are there and have an understanding about those, and do those problems repeatedly from the textbook or from any other book where you can get any other book if you. Okay, so I left some of the problems in exercises thinking that you can solve those problems on your own very easily by understanding this concept. I think you can do that. You may be able to do that. Now we will move on to the another topic, geometric progressions. In this total 10th class syllabus, 2 progressions were discussed as I told you. One is arithmetic progression and next one is geometric progression. This is called as GP in short, right? Okay, based on this GP, only 2 exercises were given in this textbook, in our textbook. Means what? One concept is reduced. In arithmetic progression, first exercise is based on the understanding arithmetic progression. Means what are the things which are required to develop an arithmetic progressions, like first term, common difference. If you have those 2 terms, first term and common difference, if you go on adding that common difference to the preceding terms, you will get the next terms. Like that you can develop an arithmetic progression. So that is the first point. If you understand the concept, if you have arithmetic first term and common difference, you can develop an arithmetic progression. Suppose if a progression is given or if a sequence is given, he will ask you whether that is an arithmetic progression or not. Means you have to check whether that is arithmetic progression or not. Means based on those 2 concepts, if you are given A and D, you have to develop an arithmetic progression, or you have to write the number of terms asked. And if you are given a progression or a sequence, you have to check whether that is an arithmetic progression or not. That is one topic, and though that based on that concept, first exercise is there in your textbook. And second exercise is based on nth term of the arithmetic progression, nth term. Okay. And third exercise is based on the sum to n terms of the arithmetic progression. In geometric progression, only 2 concepts are discussed. One is, what are the things, what is geometric progression? If you are given the terms, can you develop a geometric progression or not? Or if you are given a sequence, can you tell whether that is a geometric progression or not? Like first exercise, this 4th exercise will be same as that first exercise. Means you understand the concept of geometric progression, you can easily do the problems in the 4th exercise. Okay, next one, there we discussed nth term in the arithmetic progression. Here we are going to discuss nth term in the geometric progressions. In third exercise is based on sum to n terms of arithmetic progression. Here in your 10th class syllabus, sum to n terms of geometric progression is not involved or discussed here. Therefore, only 2 concepts, understanding geometric progression, and next one is understanding the nth term of the geometric progression. So that that is sufficient, and if you understand these 2 concepts, you can do the next 2 exercises, and that will be easy for you if you listen carefully. So first to try to understand what is a geometric progression. Progression is nothing but a sequence of numbers. If you are given in some list of numbers, you have to check whether that is a geometric progression. Means you should know what is the geometric progression. Now as I told you how a arithmetic or an arithmetic progression is formed. If you the first number is independent, let that be 3. If you go on adding a fixed value, if you add 2 to this 3, you will get 5. If you add 2 to 5, you will get 7. If you add 2 to 7, you will get 9. Like that. Means, how are you developing an arithmetic progression? By adding a fixed quantity or a fixed value or a constant. Understand the difference. This is an arithmetic progression. This is geometry progression. Let that be the first number be the same here also. Here what am I doing? Here I am adding the fixed value, the constant value to the preceding value, so that I get the next value or the succeeding value, a succeeding term in the progression. Now here, to get an arithmetic or geometric progression, what you have to do is you should multiply this, not add. You should multiply the preceding number to get a succeeding number. Means the major difference you try to understand, if you add a constant value to the preceding number, you get the succeeding number in arithmetic progression, whereas in geometry progression, if you go on multiplying the preceding number with a constant value or a fixed value, you will get the succeeding number, successive numbers. So the definition of geometry progression goes like this: the successive terms are obtained by adding, by multiplying the preceding terms. You will get the geometric progression. Once again I want to repeat this: successive terms of the geometric progression is obtained by multiplying a fixed value to the preceding values or preceding terms. We get a geometric progression. Means 3 into 2 is equals how much? 6. Now again 6 into 2 is equals how much? 12. 12 into 2 is equals how much? 24. Like that this goes on. Here I told you this progression is a linear progression. Means it will increase, it will get increased or decreased in a linear fashion. Means that will increase in a linear way or decrease in a linear way. If you add or subtract also, if you add or subtract any fixed value, you will get a arithmetic progression. If you going on add, the progression will increase and that will increase in a linear way. If you going on subtracting a fixed value, that will decrease, the progression will get decreased and that will decrease in a linear way. That is a linear progression, we can call that as linear progression. Whereas if you observe this, the values are increased very rapidly. Why? Why? Because you are multiplying a fixed quantity. This may get this may decrease also rapidly. When you multiply with fractions, if you multiply with 3 with 1 by 2, if you multiply whatever you get with that 1 by 2, what happens? The values get halved. Means that will decrease rapidly. So this type of progression is called an exponential progression. This is exponential progression. Why we call this as exponential progression? If you mark the values in the graph, they may move like in exponential way like this. If it is increased, it will increase in exponential way. If it is decreased, it will decrease in exponential way, not in a linear way if you mark those values. So this type of progression is exponential progression. Means you will get exponents here. How do you get exponents here? Let us understand things. If you understand the geometric progression, you will understand why we call that as an exponential progression. Let us see. The terminology or notation is same for arithmetic progression and geometric progression as well. The first term in the arithmetic progression is called A or A1. You can denote with any of this, A subscript 1 or simply A. Second term will be A subscript 2 or A sub 2 or A2, A3 and so on. So, no problem with the terms and the terminology. In both these progression, the things are same with the terms, and the nth term is called as An, like that only. Okay. Now, here the fixed quantity which we are adding is called as D. What is this D? D is called as common difference. Why are we calling that as common? Common means nothing but same difference between any two successive terms in an arithmetic progression, that is same. The difference is same. Therefore, that is called as common difference. Now, here what do you get? Here you are finding the difference that is equal. Here what will be the equal thing? Here see this thing. First term is 3. If you multiply this with 2, what did you get? You got 6. And if you multiply this 6 with 2, again you got what? 12. So, the terms in this progression are 3, 6, 12. Now, if you find the difference, are they equal? 6 minus 3 is 3, 12 minus 6 is 6, they are not equal. Then what is the common thing which is here in this geometric progression? If you try and observe, if you observe carefully, if you divide the second term with the first term or the third term with the second term, you will get the same quantity. 3 ones are 3 twos are, 6 ones are 6 twos are. So, how did we obtain this 2? By dividing we obtained the 2, that is the fixed value which we multiplied earlier. And what did we get now? How did we get now? We got that by dividing. So, here we have to divide to get the same or common thing. And that common thing or this common or fixed value which you are multiplied, which you multiply is called as what? Common ratio. Here that term is called as common ratio, and that is denoted with the small r. Here common difference is denoted with the small d in arithmetic progression, whereas in geometric progression you denote the with the small r. Why r? Because that is ratio. Why are we calling that as ratio? Because we are dividing a2 by a1. This is a fraction and this is also called as ratio. So, a3 by a2, a4 by a3 means you have to find the ratio of any two successive terms in the geometric progression. If they are common or if they are equal, then we can tell that that sequence of numbers is forming an GP, forming a GP. Okay. So, GP means nothing but geometric progression. So, try to understand things. Here A and common difference will be there in arithmetic progression, whereas in geometric progression A will be there. A is nothing but the first term. In every sequence or in every progression, first term will be there. Therefore, a first term is defined or denoted with A. Okay, no problem with that. Here that is the common difference, the difference between any two successive terms is denoted as with the small d. Here there will be no common difference here. Here there will be common ratio. If you divide the succeeding number with the preceding number, then you will get the same ratios. If you go on dividing, then you will get the same ratios, and that same ratio is called as common ratio, and that is denoted with R. So, terminology is somewhat different. A new letter came in here for geometric progression. So, you have to understand that and use that. So, what do you have in geometric progression? A and R. Okay. If you understand this, in first exercise or in the first concept discussed earlier in arithmetic progression, he will ask only two types of questions. What are they? You will be given A and R and ask you to find the 10th term or 13th term or any term. in the geometry. Or develop, you will ask to find next 3 terms or 4 terms or any number of terms in the geometric progression GP. And second one is, he will give you what, some sequence of numbers, and he will ask us to find or check whether that forms a GP or not. That's all. So for that you have to understand the things here. You have to understand the things involved here. So first term is A, second term is R, second term, not second term, that is common ratio is R. How do you develop a geometric progression when A and R are given? R is the thing which is the constant value which you have to multiply to the preceding value to get the succeeding value. So first let us take the initial value, first value as I told you are independent in progressions. Based on that first value only you can develop if you know common ratio or if you know common difference. Okay. So this is a geometric progression, I know common ratio, that is R. Now what is the second number? How do you get the second number? A1 is equals to A, I know that. A2 is equals to, how do you get this A2? Multiply the first number to get the second number, multiply the first number with the common ratio. What is this? AR. Next, A3 is equals to A into, okay, you have to multiply the second number into R. What is second number? AR into R, which is equals to AR square, like that. A4, AN, let us not discuss about that now. Let me discuss up to here only. If you understand this, if you can write A4, A3 into R, A3 is AR square into R is equals to AR cube. Here observe, what I want to tell here is, here observe A into R, here R to the power of 1, power of 2, power of 3, means what? These are what? Exponents. You are getting exponents in geometric progression. The general form of geometric progression I will write for you. What is the general form of geometric progression? General form of GP is equals to AR square, AR cube and so on. Whereas in arithmetic progression, A plus D, A plus 2D, A plus 3D, like that goes. So general form of GP, AP, what are that these? A plus D, A plus 2D, A plus 3D, like that it goes. Every time you will understand the things better if you compare with AP. You want to do compare these two things. What is there in AP, what is there in GP, how did we calculate the things in AP? The same things will be asked in GP also. If you understand AP better in a good way, you can easily solve the things asked in GP, because the same problems, same type of models are asked in the coming exercises. Okay, so try to understand, try to compare things whenever they are involved. So general form of an GP is AR square, AR cube. A plus D, A plus 2D, A plus DD. This is increasing in a linear way, this is increasing in an exponential way. That's why we are getting exponents here. If the exponents are involved, how do you solve the things? Means you have to understand exponential laws or laws of exponents while dealing with geometric progression. Okay. Now, suppose a sequence is given 2, 6, 18, 54 and like that. He will ask you, check whether this forms a GP or not. How do you check? The same thing we done in arithmetic progression. What did we do? We found the common difference between any two successive terms in the AP. Here what you have to do is you have to find out the common ratio between any two successive terms in here. So this, let us denote this as A1, A2, A3, A4 and like that. Now you have to find the common ratio. Common ratio is what? R, is denoted with R. R is equals here A2 by A1. There A2 minus A1. You have to find out the difference. Here you have to find out the ratio. Therefore A2 by A1. Here let us find out the things. A2 is how much? 6. A1 is 3. So 6 by 3 is equals to, if you cancel this, 3 ones are 3, R is 2 here in this first case, and again you find out the next pair, A3 by A2. What is A3? 18. A2 is 6, 6 1 ja, 6 3 ja, which is equals to, here also I wrote it mistaken, a mistake is happened, okay, 2, the first term is 2, no, 2 1 ja, 2 3 ja, so you will get 3. So here also 6 1 ja, 6 3 ja, so R is equals to 3. Here again you check the third pair, 54 by 18, 18 1 ja, 18 3 ja, which is also 3. Like this you have to check whether the ratio between two successive terms is same or not. If the ratios are same, you have to write a conclusion like this: A2 by A1 is equals to A3 by A2 is equals to A4 by A3 and so on. An by An minus 1, n belongs to natural numbers and n is greater than or equal to 2. N is greater than or equal to 2. If you can write this conclusion and say these things or express these things, then you can easily check the given sequence whether that is in geometric progression or not. Okay, I think you understood this. If you understand this, then only you can do the problems in the coming exercise. Okay, thank you. Okay students, moving on to the exercise number 6.4 based on the general understanding of geometric progression. Let us discuss the first problem here. So first problem in the 6.4 exercise is like this: in which of the following situations he gave you 4 bits under this question. I just took only 1 bit, that is the first one. Let us discuss all those things and I think you can easily do after our discussion. Okay, in which of the following situations does the list of numbers involved in the form of a GP? In which of the following situations does the list of numbers, he is saying list of numbers, but in this problem or in this bit there is no number here, like of course no list of numbers. So what to do? You, after understanding this, you have to prepare a list of numbers, a sequence of numbers, and then you have to check whether those numbers are in the form of a GP, geometric progression. Okay. So first of all, you have to understand this verbal problem and write down the list which was given according to the information given here in this problem, and then later check whether that forms an GP or not. This is the same model like we discussed in arithmetic progression in the first exercise. There also some verbal problems are given, no list of numbers were given, and you after reading and understanding that, you have to write the sequence of the numbers. Like that here also we have to do that thing. So let me write what are the numbers or what is the list of numbers we can write here. Now I am reading this: salary of Sharmila when her salary is rupees 5 lakhs for the first year and expected to receive yearly increase of 10%. Expected to increase receive an yearly increase of 10%. So, we are discussing in this problem about the salary of Sharmila. Sharmila is getting a salary of 5 lakhs initially, and means the first year when she joined, she got how many rupees per annum? 5 lakhs. This is not monthly salary, this is yearly salary. So, our first term became what? 5 lakhs. And then afterwards she received an yearly increase of 10%. Means this salary should be increased 10% and to be added to this 5. So, 10% of this should be increased and added to this 5 lakhs. That is our second year salary, and then 10% increase of the second year salary will be the third year salary, like that goes on. So, this is also an infinite geometric progression. Now, if you could able to write 2 or 3 more terms, then we can decide or check whether that forms a GP or not. Now, how to write the next term? This is the first year salary. How can we write the second year salary? So, this type of increase, if that is increasing annually, means that comes under you should, if you remember the topic in 8th class, compound interest. So, this goes like that. If you use that formula, compound interest formula, the salary of the increase in salary or the salaries increased year after year can be calculated. Okay. So, what is that formula? A is equals to P into 1 plus R by 100 to the power of n. Understand the terms here. A is amount. Amount means the total amount you receive after the increase, after adding the interest, in that case compound interest. Here the rate of increase is nothing but rate of interest there. Okay. So, here the salary is increased. So, this is what n is nothing but here the case is annually, therefore, n is number of years, R is the rate of interest there, here rate of increase, P is the principal amount, means initial amount. Initially we have 5 lakhs. So, P becomes 5 lakhs, R becomes 10% increase, and N is the number of years. So, this is first year salary. Throughout the first year, the amount of the salary in the first year she received was 5 lakhs, and amount of salary in the second year after an increase, how much she will get, let us calculate. So, write or substitute 5 lakhs in the place of P into 1 plus R is 10 by 100, and this is the first year after increase. So, n becomes 1. Okay. And the same thing, second or third year, A is equals to how much? If you calculate this, you will get. So, or you can directly increase the number of years. So, same remains 5 lakhs 1 plus 10 by 100 to the power of 2, like that it goes. So, let us calculate this. 5 lakhs into 0 gets cancelled, 1 plus 1 by 10, if you take LCM or if you calculate a mixed fraction calculation, 10 into 1 10, 10 plus 1 is 11 by 10, this becomes, here amount is 5 lakhs into, here this and this gets cancelled, 11 by 10 square. 11 by 10 square means 11 by 10 is to be multiplied 2 times. Okay, right. Now, we know these terms. How many terms we could know now? We are able to see 3 terms here. Now, these 3 terms, will they form an AP or will they form an GP or not? That's we have to check. So, let me erase this. Now see, consider this as A1, this as A2, this as A3. Now how to tell whether a list of numbers is in a GP or list of number form a GP or not? You have to find the common ratio between any two successive terms. If they are equal, then you can tell that that is in GP. Now what are we required to find? Just the same, you have to find the common ratio. So R is given by A2 by A1. You have to find A2 by A1. A2 is how much? 5 lakhs into 11 by 10 by 5 lakhs. 5 lakhs and 5 lakhs gets cancelled, 11 by 10 is the ratio. Okay, second let us discuss. Here R is equals to A3 by A2. Now second pair we are taking. Let me see what happens. A3 is 5 lakhs into 11 by 10 into 11 by 10, the square I change that and I am multiplying that both 2 times. Now here what is there? 5 lakhs into 11 by 10. 5 lakhs gets cancelled and 11 by 10 gets cancelled and the remaining thing is 11 by 10. Now if you observe, R A2 by A1 is equals to 11 by 10. Here A3 by A2 is also 11 by 10. If you go on doing or if you find other terms in the series and if you calculate R, again you will get the same R. Therefore, what can we conclude from this? Here we have to write a statement. What statement? Definitely the conclusion should be like this. A2 by A1 is equals to A3 by A2 is equals to and so on AN by AN minus 1. Therefore, the above list of numbers form a GP. This should be our conclusion. Okay, children, I hope you understand this. If you don't understand also, again go through the video once again and try to listen carefully and go through other examples. If there are any examples in the textbook, go through other examples to understand this concept better. Okay. Okay, children, in the previous question we discussed a formula related to compound interest. So in this arithmetic progression you will be given some problems or some lists of numbers to be found based on those problems. Means two types of interests are there. One is simple interest and another one is compound interest. If you have to list out the things based on simple interest, that list will be in an arithmetic progression and the list based on compound interest will be in geometric progression. So this you have to remember. So whenever you come across a simple interest formula based numbers, you have to think that or you will get a progression called arithmetic progression. Whenever the compound interest is involved, you will get a geometric progression. Now moving on to the second question. Here what is given and what is asked to find, let us see. So write 3 terms of geometric progression when the first term A and the common ratio R are given. So just like in the first exercise, when A and D are given, write 3 terms, 4 terms or a particular term. Simple. The same model is again repeated here in geometric progression, but you have to be careful. There in calculation, addition, multiplication, that calculations are limited to addition, multiplication, subtraction, but here rules of exponents and laws of exponents are also be used. So if you are well aware of that exponential laws, you can apply them and you can easily solve them. Now let us do this second bit from the second question. I took this because there is an irrational number. Many of the students fear by seeing these numbers. They think that these things I don't get and I may do wrong, but they are wrong. If you understand these properly, you can do such problems easily. Okay. First, what is he asking? He is asking us to write 3 terms of the GP. So, first term, A itself denotes the first term, therefore, you can write A1 is equals to A is equals to root 5. Now, next one is you have to find A2 and next one is A3. These 3 terms he asked us. So, what is the formula or what is the general form of the second term? Second term is you have to multiply here with multiply the first term with the common ratio or multiply the previous term with the common ratio to get the next term. So, previous term is A is root 5 here, root 5 into, what is the common ratio? Common ratio is 1 by 5. So, 1 by 5. So, after multiplying this you get what? Root 5 by 5. If you don't know how to simplify that, leave that there itself. Otherwise, if you know this thing means root 5 into root 5, if you know this root 5 whole square concept, what is root 5 whole square? Root 5 into root 5. How much do you get? Root 5 into root 5, ultimately this and this get cancelled and you get 5. Means root 5 into root 5 is equals to 5. If you have that knowledge, you can simplify this. Root 5 ones are root 5 are, which is equals to 1 by root 5. If you don't know these things, you just leave here. Otherwise, you can move further and write down that. Okay, A3 is nothing but A1 into R here. If you write like that, it will be clear. Here A2 into R means the previous term of this A3 is A2 and you have to multiply that with the common ratio R, then you will get the third term. What is A2? How much did you get? 1 by root 5 is A2 into how much is this R? 1 by 5. So, multiply this, which is equals to, multiplying the numerators, 1 by 5 into root 5 is 5 root 5. So, these are the 3 terms in this GP. Likewise, you can do or complete the problems, other bits given in the second question. Okay, and we will move on to the third question now. Let me read this third question for you and write this. Which of the following are GP? If they are in GP, write next 3 terms. Which of the following are in GP? This is the first question. If they are in GP, now if you conclude that they are in GP, write next 3 terms. Okay, by looking at this, I think you can recollect such type of problems were already done in arithmetic progression. Means which of the following are in GP means the list will be given, list of numbers. You have to find or check whether that forms a GP, and then if that is a GP, then write the next 3 terms. Simple. How do you write? If that is a GP, you will get the first term, you will get the R, then basing on A and common ratio R, you can write any number of terms, that's simple. So, this exercise is a general understanding of geometric progression, and that tests you how much did you understand the geometric progression. Let me write one list. The first one is very simple, 4, 8, 16, I do not write. I am taking this second one, 1 by 3 minus 1 by 6, 1 by 12. These fractions also, many of the students feel that this is difficult while calculations, while involving the fractions calculations, but that is also not so tough. You will do mistakes, but if you practice that regularly, or if you give time for the practice of these things, you will easily do in a correct manner. Now basic thing is, a list is given, you have to find whether they are in GP or not. GP means what? You have to find the ratios of two successive terms. Okay. So here let this be A1, this be A2 and this be A3. Now you take a pair, find the ratio. Ratio should be important is the succeeding one should be divided by the preceding one, not the preceding one divided by the succeeding one. Every time the succeeding term should be divided by the preceding term. That is how you did in arithmetic progression. The difference also there, you have to subtract the preceding term from the succeeding term. Okay, here the succeeding term should be divided by the preceding term, means R is equals to A2 by A1. First you find this. What is A? Minus 1 by 6 divided by 1 by 3. If you know how to divide a fraction with another fraction, you can easily solve this. I think you know this. Okay. How do, what is the next step? Minus 1 by 6, the numerator is written as it is, and instead of this dividing symbol, I am writing a multiplication symbol, and instead of writing this 1 by 3 as it is, this fraction which we are dividing gets reciprocal, means you have to write the reciprocal of this fraction here. This is 3 by 1. Now you know, calculate how to simplify that. So a numerator and a denominator can be cancelled, 3 1s are, 3 2s are. With all the signs also you have to multiply carefully, minus into plus. So minus into plus is minus, 1 into 1 is 1, in the numerator and the denominators 2 and 1 are there, 2 into 1 is equals to 2. So how much did you get? Minus 1 by 2 is the R when divided by A2 by A1. Next again check like that only, A3 by A2. What is A3? 1 by 12. I am writing like this, instead of this way, I can also write a divided by symbol instead of writing a line bar. Okay, 1 by 12 divided by minus 1 by 6. Next first term will be same as it is, you don't change that, and instead of division symbol you write a multiplication symbol and write the reciprocal of this, 6 by minus 1, which is equals to now simplify this, 6 1 ja, 6 2 ja, 1 into 1 is 1 by 2 into minus 1 is minus 2. Minus 1 by 2 or 1 by minus 2, is there any difference? There is no difference, both are same. Therefore ratio is the same in both cases. Then we can call this as common ratio, and we can conclude like this. Here A2 by A1 is equals to A3 by A2 is equals to AN by AN minus 1. Therefore the above list is list form a GP. So first part is done. Which are the following are in GP? So this is in GP. Next, what is asking? If they are in GP or if they form a GP, write next 3 terms. How do you write next 3 terms? By multiplying r common ratio to the previous terms, you get the next terms. So, do you know the first term? Yes, you know the first term. You know the second term. Here 3 terms are given. Next 3 terms what? A4, A5, A6. A4, A5, A6 you have to write. To get A4, you have to multiply A3 with the common ratio, then you get A4. Like that you have to repeat the process. Okay. Let me write for you. Next 3 terms are A4 you have to write, A5, A6 also you have to write. What is A4? A4 is equals to A3 into R. What is A3? 1 by 12 into what is R? Minus 1 by 2. Minus 1 by 2 is equals to, how much do you get? Minus into minus is minus 1, 12 2s are 24. So, the fourth term will be minus 1 by 24. Now, A5. A5 is equals to A4 into R. What is A4? A4 is minus 1 by 24 into minus 1 by 2. Now, see, minus into minus becomes plus, 1 by 24 2s are 48. So, 1 by 48 is the fifth term. Sixth term. Sixth term means you have to multiply the previous term, that is fifth term, with R, which is equals to 1 by 48 into minus 1 by 2, which you get as 1 into minus 1 is minus 1, 48 2s are 96. You, after observing this, you can decide or you can tell whether this is correct or not. See this, the first one is positive, second one is negative, third one is positive, fourth one is negative, fifth one positive. Alternate numbers are positive, negative. Okay, and if you observe the denominators, 3 multiplied by what? 2, 6, 6 multiplied by 12, 2 is 12, 12 multiplied by 2 is 24, 24 multiplied by 2 is 48, 48 multiplied. So, the numbers are increasing in a similar fashion. Therefore, these terms are correct. Okay. Oh, I think you understood this. Okay, let us do our, I think, okay, if possible we will do this some more problems. Okay. Okay, next bit in this third problem I took, that is 7th bit. 7th bit, the list of terms is like this: x, 1, 1 by x, and so on it goes. Now, what I have to do is, our task is to find whether this form an GP and to find the next 3 terms if they form a GP. Now, to conclude whether this form a GP or not, what you have to do is, you have to find R. R is equals to what? A2 by A1, this is A2, this is A1, this is A3, which is equals to 1 by x. Okay. Next, A3 by A2, which is equals to 1 by x divided by 1. If you divide anything with 1, you get the same thing. Therefore, again you got 1 by x. So, simple, very simple. This list is very simple. So, what do you conclude? What can we conclude? Because A2 by A1 is equals to A2 by A1 is equals to A3 by A2 is equals to AN by AN minus 1. Therefore, above list form a GP. That's all. Okay. So, you can do like this the remaining bits in the third question. Now, one more question is left over. Fourth question, if you complete this fourth question, this exercise also gets completed. Let us do it now. What is the fourth question? Let me see that and read for you and do for you. Find x so that x, comma x plus 2, comma x plus 6 are consecutive terms of a GP. Okay, find x. So that x comma x plus 2 comma x plus 6 are consecutive terms of a GP. Okay, try to understand this. Find x. There is x involved in these terms. You have to find that x. So that these three expressions or terms are consecutive terms. Consecutive terms means the immediate terms. Okay. Oh, these terms, there is a list in which the x is involved. You have to find that x given what? Given that forms, the list forms what? GP, geometric progression. Means x plus 2, x plus 3 are in GP. Previous problems, a list was given, we checked whether that is in GP or not. To check whether that is in GP or not, we have to find the common ratio. So, the ratio of any two successive terms will be same, is the same, we found that. Here, he is not asking us to check whether that is in GP. He gave us that is in GP. That means you have to understand the ratio between any two successive terms is equal, because the ratio will be common in a GP. Therefore, you find the ratios between two successive terms and make them equal and solve the equation, you will get the value of this. So, let me solve that. Therefore, A2 by A1 is equals to A3 by A2. Let this be A1, A2, A3. Now, I am substituting this x plus 2 by x is equals to x plus 3 by x plus 2. Cross multiply this. X plus 2 into x plus 2 is equals to x into x plus 3. Now multiply this. This is becomes how much? X plus 2 whole square is equals to x square plus x into 3, 3x. If you expand this, how much do you get? X square plus 2x plus 4. What am I using? I am using a plus b whole square formula. A square plus 2ab plus b square, which is equals to x square plus 3x plus 4, which is equals to x square plus 3x. Here x square is there. Here after that side also x square is there. If you have an equation and on the in that equation, if you have same terms on both sides of the equation, we can cancel, because if you transpose that to this side, what happens? That becomes minus x square. X square minus x square gets cancelled. So before doing that or not doing that, you can calculate, you can cancel that like this. Okay. So getting all the x quantities to one side and the constants to one other side, you can solve this equation. So if I take 2x to that side and 4 this side only, what happens? 3x minus 2x is equals to 4. This implies x is equals to 4. Very simple. So in this manner, you can find the x if the list of numbers involved are in GP and are having any variables. Okay. So what is the condition you are using? If some list is in GP, we can definitely conclude that, or we should understand that the common their ratios between two successive terms are equal. Okay. By using that condition, you could solve this equation. Okay. With this, exercise 6.4 is completed, children. I hope you all understood these topics. No problem, go through the examples, go through the other problems, more practice, more perfect. So if you want perfection, you can or you should practice many problems as possible as you can. Okay, bye now for children. We will meet in next class with 6.4 6.5 exercise, no, or with other topic related to 6.5 exercise. Okay, bye for now.